overhead pale neon, somewhere a dog barks. Honky tonk moon keeps shining on my baby and me. Breaking up the pool balls, chalking up the cues, jukebox pumping softly, lazy summer blues. Honky tonk moon keeps shining on my baby and me. Through the blue smoky haze, all of the day's troubles seem to melt away. My heart's on a roll, I'm easy in my soul. There's a hurry, no worry, things are going my way. My arms around my darling, shuffling on the floor. Cigarettes and sawdust, squeaky old screen door. Honky tonk moon keeps shining on my baby and me. Through the blue smoky haze, all of the day's troubles seem to melt away. My heart's on a roll, it's easy in my soul. There's a hurry, no worry, things are going my way. Outside the dark is falling, stars are twinkling bright, an old hoot owl is calling, everything's alright. Honky tonk moon keeps shining on my baby and me. Honky tonk moon keeps shining on my baby and me. Hi, I thought about making a big, long, boring tutorial on how to fix a plastic ukulele again because this one that I bought had a few other different issues. And what happened was I bought this one on eBay again. It was missing 2 tuning pegs, and I'll describe it from the top up. First off, notice that it doesn't have a pointed top. It has that mustache point, if you will, or an open book. And the headstock decoration is different. And this one has really nice color. But it was missing 2 tuning pegs, and remember that standard tuning pegs do not fit in these plastic ones, the Islanders, and I was fortunate enough to have 2 left over from a Favilla. So I've got these black ones from a Favilla when I changed tuners in that, and I kept them. Never throw away your old ukulele parts, except for your strings. Throw your strings away, but tuners, any of that stuff, you may be able to use it someday. And I saved them, and then what I did was they were kind of rusty. I took Barkeeper's Friend, polished them up with it on a sponge, replaced the finishing washers, because that's all those are, is 13-cent finishing washers from your Ace Hardware. Replaced those, and strung it up with a Killa, however you say that, string, and strung it up. They also notice that the fingerboard has this fancy cut. The sound hole has a kind of a sprocket design on this one, and it also has the spur kind of detail on the bridge plate. Unfortunately, if I get it close enough here, you'll be able to see that it has a crack all the way down to here, and the crack runs like a fishhook from here across the bridge plate to almost to the sound hole. And I knew it was cracked when I bought it, but super glue's our friend, and I was hoping not to have to glue the outside, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get enough glue in when I saw how far the crack went down. So what I did was remember to use fingernail polish remover on a cotton ball. Have a couple of those. Lay out wax paper, because wax paper won't stick to your work, and when you set it down, newspaper will stick to it and you'll have another mess. So use wax paper, super glue, put your super glue on, wipe off the excess, do that a couple times, and you'll have thin coats instead of a big long ugly seam. This came out pretty good. Then what I did, but first I had made a hook, kind of a metal hook, and stuck it in through the sound hole. Of course, those strings were off, and snapped that part that was kind of indented there. I was able to get that out flush. So then once I had super glued this on, once it was flush and I super glued that, then on that hook that I made, that was kind of a lever, I taped a squeeze tube bottle of super glue onto the end, poked a hole in it, reached in there, got it where I could kind of eyeball where it was at, and I squished it down, so I was able to squeeze super glue out of that tube into down in that fishhook area. And I shook it around good and shook it around good, because I'm kind of shooting in the dark here. Then the next one, I kind of just reached in there with a tube of super glue and squirted it around where I knew that that line was, and I just shook it around, shook it around, shook it around, and then I sat it on the wax paper to dry. I was amazed how long that took to dry. It took a couple hours, and even when I picked it up, I had to slosh it around because it was such a thick coat of glue, and I thought maybe I had ruined the sound quality, but super glue hardened hard enough. It did have a lot of vapors, so I waited about 4 or 5 days before stringing it up. I didn't want the vapors to have a negative impact on the strings. So this one kind of tops my Islander collection now. I've got the beginning model, that middle model, and now this is the deluxe. And of course, none of mine are mint condition. Mine are all, you know, a little bit beat up or repairable, but they're all fun playables, and they're all the same models, and I got them pretty inexpensively. And they're fun little ukes. They sound great. Matter of fact, this one, the action was so low once I got it done, I was a little nervous about it because when I nipped off the strings after I strung it up, the A string would not even slide in between the string and the fret. It's that low of an action. And I'm not sure what I would have done if I wouldn't have been able to do that. I suppose you could build up the zero fret there with a little bit of super glue and raise it up a little bit, but you'd be kind of guessing. But anyway, it's a fun uke. Hope you enjoyed it.